country, but we haven't seen it here yet.
Oh, this is one of the...
That just got released last month.
So they're changing. Some age statements are going to be over 12. Some are going to be under 12. They just so this one's 13 years and 7 months.
Yeah. So at Heaven Hill, they talked about that when we did it at Heaven Hill. So they're doing some. Now, of course, their barrel proofs. Heaven Hill Heaven Hill releases Elijah Craig and Larceny 3 times a year. So A, B, and C. So of course, and I'm sure most people probably already know, but so it's batch C. So the 3rd release of the year, 9th month. Yeah. And year. So. But they've done away strictly with the 12-year age statement on these, so they have variations. So they said we're going to start seeing up to some 15-year barrel proofs. Hell yeah. Is what they said. So they're probably going to pepper in some younger stuff. Yeah, and I think so. I mean, I don't think it's going to be just. Yeah. I'm not saying you're going to see nothing but 15s. Yeah. No. It's going to be just what they think tastes really good times. What they were saying to us. Well, I think that's the most important thing. I mean, you got to put a good product out on the shelf. You don't want to necessarily just put a 12-year-old whiskey on the shelf if it's not ready. Nope. Ain't no time like now. Right. That's why I got bought. Hey,
that's a good thing about Wes. He's a drinker.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a couple bottles up there that he's probably never maybe. No,
there's nothing that's never going to be opened.
No, there's
grandfathers. So the ones I have my grandfather at some point will be. Yeah. Just it's got to be the right thing. It's just going to have to be something very special. It's going to be you need to start, kids getting married, grandkids, something like that. You need to make sure, are those screw tops or are they cork? Well, the wild turkey, I have no idea because it's still wrapped in wild turkey tissue paper. Go on. It's probably, well, I don't know. It may or may not be.
What will happen?
You want a different, different glass, or are you good with
I'm fine. Well, so from time to time, a traditional cork.
I do turn them on their side.
It'll dry out. Yeah, that's
so. I do lay them on their side for a couple of days and then turn them back up.
And it takes
just a tiny bit. Yeah.
It takes it's not going to dry out quickly.
Step out to the screen for a second because
it's not going to dry out quickly, and it's taken. I've had it happen to me a couple times. Whenever I was really hunting whiskeys, I was real big into Scotch, and I found some special release like single barrel Scotches. Like you have an independent bottler, they'll go in and they'll source barrels from a Scotch distillery. Well, I found some older Scotch that I was really into at the time, and it had probably been on the shelf at that time up to 4 to 5 years. So if it's sitting vertical on a shelf 4 to 5 years without ever having any kind of agitation, it's just going to dry out.
There's a question behind this. I have a bottle of Johnny Walker Red, which I know is the bottom end, but I bet it's from 65.
Oh wow!
It's got the metal tabs on it. I don't know if it's any good or not.
Oh, one way to find out.
Yeah.
Comes out looking like motor oil. It's thick as motor oil. Don't drink it. And if it's anything less than that, taste it.
Well, I think
I've got a 1976 Jim Beam 107 over there in the decanter, or the Jim Beam 100.
Yeah.
In the decanter.
It's still in the decanter.
Seal's never been broken on.
So I feel like, this is just my opinion. This is just thoughts coming out of the air. If you look at the amount of liquid that's still in the bottle, I feel like if it's still full, it's probably
still full.
The cork or the lid is still intact, so it should be unchanged.
It should be just what it was in 1965,
exactly.
Right?
It should be.
Not any different, right?
Because I mean, it is liquid. What happens to liquid? It evaporates. Right. So,
and I will say, so going off this point of older whiskeys, because we're all over the board on what we're talking about.
Sorry.
That's fine.
No, it's fine. But something to definitely do in Kentucky is there's bars there. Go to these old bars. There's bars that you can get Neat down on Bardstown Road's one of them. It's one of my favorite ones.
That's pretty good.
You go down to Neat, you can sit down, you can have you a glass of pre-prohibition whiskey.
No shit.
It's fucking awesome.
Oh,
so like, that's fine.
Okay. I didn't know.
So like, last year I was there. Me and my buddy Jason went. He was born in 77, I was born in 78. I said, hey, what do you have from 1978 and 77? I was drinking Old Taylor from 1978. Definitely not like the bullshit you get now.
Oh, I'm sure.
Some of the best damn bourbon I've ever tasted in my life. And it was from 1978. I mean, it's 40, well, at that time, 44 years old, I guess, or 2, 3.
That's awesome. I mean, it's amazing that there's still places around that can do that.
There are a lot of bars. If you just have to, just Google them. I mean, find ones that have older whiskeys, vintage whiskeys, and you can sample them. You can drink them. They have the bottles opened.
We talked about,
and they're not that bad. Like I was drinking 78, and it was like $19 a pour. That's not bad. I'm not going to bitch.
No, and
for something I'm never going to try again,
and that's never going to be made again.
Yeah.
The rarity of that whiskey is amazing. Man,
that's good.
That is good.
It's just good.
It's 133 proof.
And it hits hot on the back end.
A little hot, but it's still.
You feel it.
I mean, it ain't for 133. It's not that hot.
You need water or anything?
I mean, I'll take a water. Yeah. Might as well. I mean, just a palate clean. We're not rushing through anything. This is.
It ain't no fancy bottled water. You're just getting tapped.
I might have to keep. I might have to keep an eye on the timer. It might shut off on us. I don't know. I think I have a 30-minute time limit on these videos.
Okay. Well.
Then I have to restart it. I don't know.
Okay.
Huh? No, it's just recording.
Okay.
I'll upload it later on my YouTube. So let's talk about just side quest here.
Yeah.
So, would you ever make a trip to Kentucky just to visit those bars, or do you think there's enough time to do the distillery tours and visit the bars? And you told me about what distillery has a massive library of whiskeys. I think we talked about that.
Bardstown has a massive library.
Oh,
so
really?
Bardstown Distilling Company, you go to, they've got just a huge library, and they're all for sale. They're all to drink. I think you can find better deals at some of the bars than you can necessarily there. So I think Bardstown's probably paying a premium.
Probably.
Just basically for the have the clout that they have this stuff. But I mean, it's all about how much money you got and what you're willing to part with. And I'm a firm believer in just, if you got it and you can afford to do it, just do it. You ain't gonna be able to do it again.
I think for somebody who's wanting to experience as much as possible, as many different things as possible.
So the bars are typically open pretty late. So you can go there, and then another great thing is, even in Kentucky, which is totally different than in Texas, most of the liquor stores you go into have bars in them. So they've got bottles on the shelf.
So you
can sample it beforehand. Or they'll have stuff like, I drank this past time, I drank King of Kentucky. I'm never going to see King of Kentucky here. It's not released here. We know that. Unless I want to pay $1,500, $2,000 on the secondary market for it, I'm not getting it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay it, but I can drink it for $50 for a 1 ounce pour. And as much as I thought King of Kentucky was all hype for years, first time I ever drank it was last week. It ain't no joke. That is literally some of the best shit. I would say it would make me want to pour William Louis Weller down the sink.
Like William?
Yeah, WLW. It's so damn good.
Who makes it?
That is made by Brown-Forman.
Okay.
That's a Brown-Forman product. But it is good. And it is worth every bit of the hype being called King.
Well, you'll have to pick one of those up next time.
Shit, I tried. They did not have any.
Let me drink it.
They did not have any, but I got to sample some at a bar, so.
Hell yeah.
That's pretty good.
I mean, because I paid $50 a pour on stuff that wasn't, I mean, it was still, so last year on my birthday, I went to a place called Whiskey Cake in Dallas.
Yeah.
They've got a massive selection.
Just so you know, Kelly's looking at all my high-end stuff over here.
Just show them this. So y'all can take a quick peek of that. There's some stuff. There's a bottle of old original 107, antique 107 from the 80s.
There's a Eagle Rare from 81. There's a Wild Turkey from like 84.
Yeah. So
of course, the Stag.
Heaven Hill 17 year.
WLW.
What is that? Four Roses.
That is the Four Roses Super Premium. That is export only to Japan.
Oh,
And I will say this right now, it is not super premium, it's absolute ass.
Okay.
And best I can tell, it's just regular Four Roses, and they're just marketing to Japan.
I mean, you know what? Fuck those guys.
And as much as I love Four Roses, I love Four Roses, but that bottom shelf stuff ain't no good.
Well, speaking of Four Roses,